Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful Ponytown news update video. That's a mouthful every single time I say it, so I'm trying to come up with a better way to say that, so let me know in the comments if you know a quicker, easier way for me to say that. But anyway, we have an interesting update here. We have so many new customization options, and we even got like a tiny thing to the house objects, like just a tiny little thing. They added water rocks. That's actually really huge because we have 11 new rocks now because of that. So that's huge. That's going to allow us to do all kinds of caves and stuff like that, and I'll show you those in a moment, but I want to go through all the customization and stuff like that since that's what you see before you get into the game anyway. If I go over to my character tab here, we got some interesting things to the body overall, and we can now change the leg patterns for each individual leg. So if I wanted to, for example, have Skella to have her cuff on like one leg or whatever, I can adjust these things here, these tabs here. So for both front legs, boom, now only one has it, and I can go to for both back legs and remove both of those. Now I can adjust each individual leg, so if I go down to back leg pattern left, I can get rid of that on there, so now there's only just that one there where I can put that back. I can change it to where one side has like spots on it and the other side doesn't have spots on it, and you can find some interesting ways to, you know, mess around with that and see what you can come up with. So spots on one side, perhaps, if you wanted to do that. Maybe there's like some kind of infection on them or something like that, or maybe there's some kind of lure to the fact that they have these spots on the back of them. Maybe they're magical spots or something, I don't know. But the point is, you can put spots on half your body and, you know, normal cuffs or whatever else you want to do on the other side. So you can put stripes there. If you want like stripes or something instead, it's not going to work because the way I've adjusted these colors. But if I wanted like stripes there instead, I can do that, you know, and that's totally fine. Look, I have like one green stripe on that leg and then nothing on the other side. That looks really weird. But the point is, you can adjust like each individual leg as if it's its own body part, which makes sense. We should have been able to do this a long time ago, but we just haven't been able to until this update for some reason. But this goes even further because now you can do this same thing with hooves. If I want to have, for example, this I don't know what they call it because they don't have names for some reason, but let's say I want claws, but I only want claws on one of my hands. I can do the same thing as before and click the for both front legs and get rid of the one on the right or whatever. So this one doesn't have the talons or those claws or whatever, and the other half does. And I can do for both back legs or whatever like that, and then I can adjust both back legs, and each of them you can color it however you want. So for example, the front hooves are going to be, let's make them completely white. Let's make them solid white so it's easier to see. And then if I do front hoof right and do, let's say, like a different set of claws, as you can see, I was hitting D instead of F. As you can see, it's a completely different color, and I can adjust that to be completely black if I want to. And so I can have like black talons on one side and white talons on another side. So you can have like a fun little thing like that where you have like a yin-yang character now, and you just go wild with that. This will also help you if you're trying to make a Discord cosplay. We can do that properly now because you can adjust for each individual leg. This same thing works for the back legs. If you want claws on only half your back legs, then you can do that. If you want it for like no claws in the back but only claws in the front, and you want, you know, back hoofs to be like this thing, whatever this thing's called, you can do that. It's very easy to do so, and you can adjust each of them in their own colors. Just make sure you like it, they're going to be locked by default sometimes, so you're just going to unlock that and you can change the color of it. So you can change the color and you know, leg patterns and everything like that for each individual leg. But the customization updates don't end there. If we go over to the face tab, there's some new things we can do. So what we can do now is we can adjust the eyeshadow for both eyes. So if I include eyeshadow, I can lock for both eyes or unlock for both eyes. So if I click this, I can now adjust for eyeshadow on either side. So again, if I want to do that yin-yang character, I can have eyeshadow be, you know, on only one half of the character's face. And I can also make that any color I want. I can make that red, and then I can make this like green or something like that, or I can just remove eyeshadow on one eye and then just keep it on the other and play around with that, and then you can lock it back or whatever else you want to do. There's plenty of options there. But again, the customization features for this update doesn't end there. It keeps going and it keeps continuing. But now you can change the mouth color, the tongue color, and the teeth color. This is something that we've asked a long time ago for, and it's finally here. You can finally do it. Now I'm going to switch over the mouth here in a second, so you can see the tongue and the mouth color. But right now, I want to show you the teeth since that's already on there. If you want to change the teeth color, you can just press that right there and change it to whatever color you want. If you like grab this, for example, which is her body color, and you put that over in that and paste that in there, now her teeth are invisible, which is weird. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can do that if you wanted to do that for whatever reason. Maybe you like how certain things are, like this one or something, but so that would be a pretty good use for it. Like if you want that facial expression, but you don't want the teeth, you can make the teeth invisible. But don't worry about trying to reset it to default. That's going to be a hassle and a half to remember all those color codes and everything else. Well, fear not, because you can now reset it back to default with this simple arrow key right next to it. If you hit that, it resets that teeth color back to default. Same thing with the mouth and the mouth and the tongue, because it's just going to reset to default. So I'm going to put this on there, and now as you can see, this little maroonish part is the mouth. I can change that to be whatever color I want. Let's say white, and then I can change the color to be something like black or orangish, or all the way back to red or something. And I can adjust this and play around with this. If I want to, I can make the entire mouth and teeth and everything like that just completely solid red. I don't know why you would necessarily want to be able to do that, but you can do that now. This is going to open up so many possibilities for species and regiment outfits and everything else. I can't wait to see like what people do with this one small feature, because it's something that even I requested at one point, and then I realized, what can you actually do if you could do that? Like, what would actually be the point to being able to do that? But now that I'm actually seeing it in action, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I love it. I want to see it. I want to see it, and it's here. So let's reset all that back to default. Let's actually revert my character completely. But that's going to do it for the character customization side of the whole update and everything like that. So we got the tongue color, the mouth color, the eyeshadow per thing, the leg patterns per thing, the hooves per thing. We got all of these things. The only thing we haven't shown is the added water rocks to the house objects. So let's jump into Ponytown right now and check that out. So as you can see, I have a house here set up. Hello, hi, Afat. Anyway, I have a house here set up to show off the new water rocks. As you can see, I have a pool of water here, or this little strip of water, however you want to call it. And there is 11 rocks inside there. There is a lot of rocks in there. Each of these rocks are part of the update. This is insane. There's 11 new items now in the party house that you can play around with, and it doesn't have to be put in water. And if you don't put it in water, it doesn't do that like water treading thing. Instead, if you put it outside of water, it acts like a normal rock, like these rocks over here do. So these rocks are the new rocks, and these rocks up here are the old rocks. So the rocks up here are old, the rocks down here are new. So we got a total of 14 rocks now. That's 11 plus 3. I'm good at math. So there's 14 rocks now, and 11 of them are brand new. These are very interesting rocks. They're going to open up so many possibilities for things like caves, for like just using them like they're intended to be used and putting them in water, because we haven't had that. And no, if you actually equip if you get like a normal rock that we've had forever, it doesn't do the water treading thing. If I can find a freaking rock in here. Yeah, so if I put this giant rock here in this pool up here that looks very, like it has a very suspicious shape to it, it doesn't actually change how the water behaves. It doesn't change how the rock behaves. It doesn't tread water in there. The only water rocks you're going to be able to use is the actual water rock variant. And as you can see, even in the preview, it shows you like what it's going to look like when it's in the water versus what it's going to look like when it's on land. This is very interesting. And no, it's not like 11 things that you have to scroll through in addition. Now it's just the same one. And if you want to scroll between each of the new rocks, you're going to have to sit here for a good minute and press shift over and 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 over again and over again and over again until you finally get the rock that you're looking for. And I still haven't found it. There it is. So it needs a little bit of work in that regard. I think personally it should have a set order, not just like you press shift and it randomly changes. I think it should just have a set order of the rocks. So every time I press shift, it goes from this tiny rock to this tiny rock to this bigger rock to this rock to the spiky rock to this rock to this rock to this rock, this one, and this one. I think it should just have that set order just like that, or even just like this set order that I have up here. And I think it should be like that instead of being so random, because every single time, the only way you can do this, the only way you can switch between these water rocks, and this is the only way you're going to know it, because Ponytown doesn't actually tell you that. There's no like tip up here when you switch to it or anything like that. The only way you're going to be able to find out that all these rocks are here besides the first one is if you accidentally find out that there's more. So if I scroll to like a large rock and then switch back to the water rock, it's going to change basically every time. It's gonna randomize it every single time you switch back to the water rock. That is a way for you to just, you know, scroll and figure out which rock you want. That may take you a while though, so instead you can go to the water rock and just press shift and switch between all of them. However, it's still random. My thing is, I think it should just be in a set order, sort of like how the fruit box is or anything else. You should be able to press shift and it just goes to the next one over. Same thing with the other rocks, the small rock. If I press shift on this, it's pretty random. See, like I press shift and it switched to the same rock again. It's very, very random whether or not it switches to the other rock. I think it should just be set to where it just scrolls through each of the options, and that's that. That's how I would improve this going forward. But that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to say about the update other than one more tiny little thing, and then of course my thoughts on what this update may mean. So I have had ears here for a reason, I will admit. They are here for a reason. But that reason is for this. So if I try to promote them to party leader, of course it's going to give me this prompt message saying, hey, are you sure you want to promote this leader to party leader, this person to party leader? And then it will give you a link to like a person, essentially. Now, if you press this button, it normally shows you like the character up here in the corner. But there'll be things like if you get a friend request or something like that, it will give you a link to the person that friended you. And if you click it, it will put up their profile up here in the top left corner, like as you see up here, and it'll allow you to see, oh, that's that person, what are they doing, what's going on with that, you know, or if you try to interact with them in certain ways. Okay, so let's say I want to give I have hat here a banana, so I click on them and I send the gift item request. They should get a prompt message somewhere on their screen, somewhere on their end of the universe, and it will like basically tell them whether or not they want to accept it. And if they click the thing, it should give them a message and everything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and wait for them to accept that and give it back to me. So they're giving me an item, and now if it has like I have had, it's giving you an item. If you don't know who this person is, you can now click on the name there, and it will put up their thing up there in the corner, which is very interesting and very nice. It's kind of a neat little addition that I think can go a long way. I'm not 100% sure like what the full extent of this is gonna like be and how people are gonna use it and stuff like that. Or I mean, people technically aren't gonna use it. It's just like a very, very tiny detail that makes a lot of sense because like you should be able to click on the name, right? Well, now you can. So I'm gonna accept that banana because bananas are important. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Moving on to like what I think this means. This basically is just confirming that like, hey, you know, this we're finishing up some small customization things while we focus on the larger overall big map update. That's what it seems like. So if I go outside real quick, if you look outside, there is a lot of objects out here that you're gonna have to be able to have access to if you give all the players full map customization. We're going to need access to each individual flower. We're gonna need have access to each individual water like rock like we just got in this update, which to me helps prove that like, hey, yeah, we're trying to, you know, put in all of these things, and then eventually we're just gonna have full island customization. But we're gonna have to do something like maybe we're gonna have access to boats, maybe we're gonna have access to the docks, or maybe that's gonna be an unchangeable part of the island. Who knows? We're gonna have some access to fence because obviously this fence would still be there, so we're gonna have to be able to customize that. We're gonna have full, like, we should have some form of these large trees that we can customize. Just all kinds of things like that. We should be able to have like these gift toy stashes, which would actually function as toy stashes. Theoretically, that would be the case anyway. We should have access to these benches. Well, these like backward benches. We should have access to those. We should have access to a lot of these things coming soon. And I don't know if they're going to release each of these individual items like periodically within these updates, because these water rocks are a nice, you know, feature to add and everything like that. But if we go back to the changelog, it doesn't really kind of fit with what else the changelog is saying, because the changelog is like all just character customization and stuff like that. This seems to add like just some random feature that is really wonderful, but it seems like it's just like leaking in a little bit more of that island customization. And soon I guess the rocks are first. Maybe in the next update we'll have something like a tree, or maybe in the next update we'll have more flowers to, place in our party house. And then soon we'll have each of these things on the outside that we could put inside. And then once we have all that, maybe then it will be island customization time. Or if not that, then they're going to release all of those like tiny little things like this tree, these flowers, different stuff like that, and these fence posts, stuff like that. They're gonna release all those things all at once on the island update. I'm not sure which one, but it's very exciting to see because there's no telling what we're gonna get next, and it could literally be anything on the entire island, or it could be something brand new that we've never seen before. So yeah, it's very fun and very exciting and very interesting to see what happens next. So anyway, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope anyway, and I do hope that you enjoyed. And if you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Do those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. That's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.